American Airlines has had a good run as of late, but today somebody made a massive bet. The December 25, so about a year from now, $5 puts right here trade 82,000 times. The stock is trading $17. Let's take a look here right now. So this is a bet that not only the stock is going to go lower, but it's going to go lower than it was in 2020, the global pandemic. Let's take a look at the numbers to figure out why this investor might be making this bet on American Airlines. So American Airlines is a good example of a company that got a lot weaker in COVID. Let's take a look at what we're talking about here. Let's go to the balance sheet. And if you take a look at net debt here of about $29 billion, and we always compare that to EBITDA, you've got about a 4x leverage ratio. Fairly highly levered, but for a company like this, fairly understandable essentially. And then what happened? Well, obviously in COVID, revenue went from 45 billion to 17 billion on the big COVID year, then back up to 30 and back up to 49. So revenue is completely recovered here, but what happened in 2021 is the net income was massively negative. And how did they counterbalance that? They did it by borrowing a bunch of money and putting it on the balance sheet. Let's take a look at how things look today. So net debt now about $31 billion, but compare that to EBITDA down here, which has shrunk a bunch because margins have come down, and you get 6 to 7x net leverage. Really highly levered name. They borrowed a lot of money essentially. Let's take a look at the margins here in 2024. Net income margin is expected to be just 2%. The free cash flow production is just about 2%. So what is this person who bought a ton of options in the December 5 strike a year from now thinking? What he's thinking is this leverage ratio is going to end up blowing up this company at some point, essentially, right? One bad move, one negative item or a couple of negative items come to American Airlines and they will struggle to pay this large debt pile most likely, which is going to be a problem for them and a real big problem for the equity holders who sit behind the debt holders that have to be paid first essentially here. So big bet on the downside of American Airlines. The leverage ratio is probably what they're betting on to blow this thing up, and it'll be interesting to see who wins and who loses on this bet. Thanks for watching. We appreciate everything you guys do. We get a lot of comments and a lot of incoming. We love answering all those questions, so keep all that stuff coming. We really appreciate it. Thanks.